Well, we're here again. This is the last video. This is my mentor, Mr. Rick, and I did a video today. I was really pressed for time, and we had a lot of technical issues, so I didn't go as slow or pause as much as I should have, but I tried the best I could. I did do a couple strategies for English language learners, and we're basically comparing this to my first video. So I'm going to have Mr. Rick explain how he thought I did on the video. Rick?
Yeah. Well, it's that time of year where we're trying to pack in and finish content and unload, and it's challenging, and we're not the only ones doing that. It's a stressful time for the students as we approach the last 2-3 weeks. So here we are trying to present probably too much material in a short time. And that demands a lot from the students as well as from us. So my overview of this is that we really have to avoid excess detail, and that's really reining ourselves in. And we're under the gun here. We're trying to get this out, and yet we probably recognize that it's not as well paced as we would like it to be. It's a little bit probably too much content coming at them without the kind of backup videos maybe where you can stop and start. And again, minimize it to several major issues, major points, major concepts, instead of trying to connect everything. We want to connect, and that's our tendency. And what I see when you're under the pressure of time, not only the students to get content out, but also just getting everything, including our video out. It's a lot. It's a lot to expect. So I think you would admit that the pace was a bit quick, and you didn't speak as deliberately as you had before. Why? Because you had a lot to say. You had a lot. You were trying to get all this out. So I think you recognize that this is probably you're going nervous system. You're doing
endocrine system,
endocrine, and some expiratory,
a little bit of urinary
in class, and it's like, wow. So you showed a crash course video to start with, which is always good. Of course, he speaks pretty. It comes at you quick.
That one I was actually stopping and pausing it because he does.
I didn't see that part of it.
Yeah, I know, because I couldn't show that and record on this computer at the same time because
technical problems.
I had technical problems. I couldn't
make it more challenging. Students using.
I could have showed it. I downloaded it on this computer. I should have downloaded it on my other computer, and I could have played that computer and recorded this one. But I tried to do it on this computer because this one's I'm working with. But that was you didn't get to see that part.
So I think being aware of the level of detail and the trying to break it into major concepts so it's not always flowing together. For example, nervous system. What do you need to know? Basic things. Okay, what is a reflex? What is an overview of the central nervous system? And how does an action potential work? And everything serves to reinforce those three major things. And trying to cover the neuron, I think you did it with video. stopping, starting, and showed all the
Yeah,
action potential.
and then I also was doing that with the book,
Yeah.
the ebook,
Yeah.
and I didn't get into the action potential with the ebook, but I showed the parts of the nervous system, explained the axon and dendrite, and
Yeah.
talked about the myelin sheath, the nodes of Ranier, and all that. So
If you have to be aware that you're coming up with a lot of terms, you're reusing terms you may have only introduced, and there's a lot of words coming at them: LH, TSH, hypothalamus homeostasis. Well, you forget that one. And so fight or flight, the glucocorticoids, and it's just wow. It's so how do those specific details support the main idea you're trying to get across, which in the short time we have, we can't adequately do really, but support the idea that the endocrine system is basically a bunch of glands that make hormones that enter blood, have target cells, receptors, and have some effect, specific effect. For example, here are some examples of some of the things that, now they're going to say, do we need to know about TSH and LH and all these glucocorticoids and all this? So to somehow make them clear that these are supporting details rather than
what they have to know.
Everything they have to know. So to separate those two things a little bit, say, okay, so always with the main point clear, the main idea clear and simple, then these things that don't mount up as much. They can take or leave.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these details that might, some of them might remember one or two of these things that support, but not all. I used to do this too. I used to have trouble when I had so much information to get across. I mean, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
How do you get it across? I mean, if you just let them read, they're not going to pick it up. Either you drop something, or you like the editing part of it is really a real challenge.
Yeah, and we still besides the nervous system and the action potential and the excretory system, we still are going to touch on the different classifications in biology and anything about plants and about.
No, we don't have time.
So what about
evolution?
Evolution.
Yeah,
we got to hit on evolution. So there's still a lot to cover.
Yeah. So
and we have like 5 more classes or something.
So yeah, I mean,
and for the rest of the year, and then study for the final. We have the whole semester to review for the test that's coming up in a couple of weeks. So
yeah, I think we have to be better about editing ourselves and decide in advance what are the maybe three major points for that system, and then use details to support those 3. So if they pick up one of those 3 examples for each of the 3 concepts, that's enough to support. Choose an example that supports the idea of how a hormone works. Feedback,
and a negative feedback.
Negative feedback. That's a central concept.
Mm-hmm.
So again, if we can work on that, I think that's my thought on that. And if you try to stop it and show all of this with videos, you're never going to get it done.
No, there's not enough time.
So the point is, I think you
got to pick and choose.
Pick and
choose. Get the main points across.
Get the main points and illustrate them, but let them know that those main points. Pick one. If you can come up with one, great. That pleases you for each major concept.
Mm-hmm.
So supporting details can freak people out if they don't realize that that's what they are. So just letting them know, okay, what it is you expect of them clearly. When we and geez, we're trying to do too much. I mean, not just you. I'm trying to do too much.
Yeah.
So we have to really take time to do that. Edit what we're saying and let them know clearly our expectations so that they don't get overwhelmed. Because I felt without the visuals that you were showing, I couldn't see them.
Yeah.
Okay, but they could obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, I want to see the visuals. I'm sitting there hearing all this, and I'm like, without the visuals, I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah, unfortunately on this video I was trying to make it so you could see the students and me, and by doing that you couldn't see the screen that I was projecting very well. Last time you could see the screen and me and you couldn't see the students, and you could only see me half the time. I was cutting off my top of my head. So it's hard. I moved the video recorder far away to try to get me, the screen, and the students. I didn't get any of them really good, and the audio was a little bit off too because I had it about 20 feet away, but it doesn't really have a wide angle lens. It just has the one lens that comes with the thing. So anyways, Patty, take a look at this video. If you don't think that I improved enough, I can try to do it again next week. I have a couple more chances, but after that, it's going to be Scramble City because we got finals and we have so much to teach in these last couple weeks of class. So I was trying to get it done today so that I could get it into you by May 4th. I think that's the deadline, and I've got to do everything to get it this weekend to finish that. But I won't be able to get a chance to teach again until Monday, and by the time I do that Monday or Tuesday, there won't be time to get it by May 4th. But if you don't like this, I'll gladly do it again for you and see if I can get a better video quality, and try to do some of the things that Mr. Rick, I think last video was actually better. I was pausing and I was going slower.
Well, you had more time to do it.
But I was covering a lot of material just because of what's going on right now with the school. But see what you think. If you don't like it, I'll be gladly do it again early this week. Send me an email or something. Hopefully you get a chance to grade it. If you don't get a chance to grade it till after May 4th, and then contact me some way if you want me to redo this. If you don't think this is adequate, let me know, because I want to make sure I finish the course and get everything done. So that's it for this week.
Okay,
this is supposed to be my really good one. It didn't turn out as well as I liked. But anyways,
it was fun.
I tried. So if you don't like it, like I said, I'll do it again. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.